Hello everybody, and welcome back to Oakbridge. It's December, we've had some snow, we're still getting some snow, rather dark, 9 AM. in the AMs. So I'm going to check the animals, make sure they've got what they need, and we're going to hopefully well, there's only 6 of them. That's it. They're not going down the food much, but there is only 6 of them. I think that I say it's took me a while between recording because I've been doing so much off work. There's nearly 350,000 litres in here. That's a huge amount of silage. Probably should put some winter gear on. I think I managed to get all of the bales picked up, but it was very dark. And if we've missed the odd one, then we've missed the odd one. So today, my plan is based... I might as well shut up. Is based down at... I don't know what I'd call it now. Well, basically, I want to build a farm down there. Planning permission has been put in, and basically they've come back and said as long as it's in keeping with the area, you know, Cotswold stone, that sort of thing. Obviously agricultural buildings, there's not too much of a problem with that. So by luck there is. Well, that's weird, it says slurry but there is no slurry, and it says manure but we can't put manure in. Rather interesting. That water doesn't look too appetising, does it? Oh well. Doesn't look great what's coming out there either. So let's see if the old piggies having a bit of fun in there. You know what we could put in here? Where would it be? There's a pig hut we can put in. I've been scouring through the mod hub for things. There we go. Should we pop that in? On there. Yeah, nice. Yes, that should do them very nice, especially in this cold winter. They've got somewhere they can go and branch in there for them. Lovely. Yes, great stuff. And they've got plenty of food as well. So this is going to be quite expensive, isn't it? I think might need to be looking towards collecting some objects. We'll see how we get on. Although I've been doing contracts as well, haven't I? Of course I have. Let's collect that, collect that, collect that. Lovely. And I'll pick that up at some point because we've got no wood processing going on. Right. Let's head on up. I know what I'm going to need actually. And I think I've left it here. I think this might end up getting built up over time because many reasons really. I suppose you got financially, I don't want to open that gate with this in. Financially we've got not a lot of money to play with. We could probably build the house for what's there. But the planning is probably where the main part of today is going to be. It's winter, we can't get a lot done anyway, can we? We can get the builders out to probably put the house in. The snowman appeared, that's nice. Nice touch. Another one there. So my plan is I'll solder I want to make this entrance the main entrance for the farm. And I'm thinking we can have these sheds taken down. This is all quite flat, so I'm thinking we try and remove a lot of this. I think the chickens are going to have to move. I want all of this out the way. These sheds can probably come down, because this can all... They've got no food. Oh, hold on. Oh, I can move them all. Excellent. So I think I'm quite happy to get more excellent. So all of this needs clearing out, basically. Assuming we can get rid of that. And then this is quite sloped because that's flat. I'm thinking possibly have this as all the buildings down here coming up. I did like the idea of doing like a horseshoe, or possibly even I'm thinking a driveway up here, maybe a feature, a tree and a roundabout, and then it sort of follows the path up here, and then we've got all this at the back. This could all probably be changed at some point, but this is fairly flat. This area is fairly flat, and that still leaves us plenty of room out there. I had got other ideas of maybe putting the house up here with some sheds coming off it, or the house down here with some sheds coming off it. I just feel like this is a bit of an area that's prime for it because it's close to the edge. We don't take up any farmland. That can still be worked on at a later date. Do you want to be living right next to a silage pit? Although we could just get rid of the silage pit. They're not much use. We could get rid of that, put a house in here, and then have almost a big sweeping drive down to it, and have this as the farm section here. Or we could sweep the road up here, and then it comes up that way to the house. It's not a bad idea, actually. I think the best thing to do for now is clear some space out, aren't we? So I shall start by getting these fences out. This won't take too long, and there's obviously little bits like getting rid of the stuff around here as well, so we can see what we've got to play with, and then it'll be daylight, so that'll be easy to see. So I can do that. I'll go and get the wood and I'll come back to you very shortly for you guys. Right, 12 o'clock. The 3 trees were terrible. We can move this bucket. Get this bucket out of the way. But I'll keep that because I like my bucket. Where did I put the herdsman stick? I think I left it over where that gate was, which I've now got rid of. Great stuff. Got that there. I've moved. I'm tempted just to take those 2 greenhouses down to then see what sort of land we've got. I've took all the fencing and the gates down all the way around. Whoop. There it is. Put that somewhere safe. So we can have a better view. It's just annoying. I thought the snow was going to be gone by now, but... So... I've not taken these down yet, because I don't know if we should keep them. But I'm thinking entrance through there with a path, possibly along. I don't know what to do with this bit. I can't seem to find the remove section for these, which is worrying me. And I haven't taken that yet. I don't know if there's anything in that. Should I just take them down so we can see the lay of the land? I'll tell you what though, just look how much bigger that looks now. That's a huge field. And we could have put a house up here and then still have an entrance in to drive there. Could even have an entrance in there, road up, house, road. Although I quite like having the idea of having a house there. It would mean moving the chickens though as well. Should we have a look at the house? Maybe? It's that one. Stone to match. That definitely says to me we could probably keep the bees, but the chickens might have to move. We could have it around here. That is lovely and flat, but then is that going to be a bit back garden just straight up to there? It's not too bad, is it? You had it say there. Could probably put a driveway in. And the road goes up there. Or the other way. Little driveway in the front. Maybe. Or agricultural buildings there. And we move up here. With a little garden at the side of us. And the bees. I don't mind that actually. What's going to be more vintage and British, because I sometimes visit quite a few farms and there's normally big long driveways to get to where the houses are, and then we've got that looking out all over the rest of our farmland and trees at the back. I think up here would be better. Yeah. So do I get the boys out to get rid of that? What do we do if we can't get rid of that? It normally sits on the map, doesn't it? Oh, I've started piling everything up here in case we can use any of it. All the tyres are up there, and I'm sure there's some bits we can use to carry on building with. We could have chickens down here now, couldn't we? Yeah, we certainly could. Is that empty? That's empty. Let's get rid of that. Got £6 back on that. Bonus! I was thinking leaving the trees in and putting a little pond around there. That's why I'd left the fence. But now I'm sure I was able to get rid of it at some point while I was testing something ages ago when the map first came out. I don't know if there has been the update, and I don't know if that's got rid of the option for that. Which could mean I think we should take those sheds down. About 10 grand to replace them if we want to put them back. Then we could put we're gonna need places for the chickens, then, aren't we? We could put more chickens back in here, but a bigger pen. And I could also potentially put a chicken pen in here. And work out what to do with that. Bear with me, and I will come back to you with a little bit of an update shortly. I'll get a couple of lads to come and give us a hand. We'll rip this down, I think, so we can get a better look. And I'm thinking path up there and around it's tricky that. Maybe cut that corner off to then come up and back around there, or just cut that straight off, and that could be what would that become? It's a bit better to see from here, isn't it? Path up there. Path up to the house. You could potentially bring a path down if at a later date we end up expanding out. But there is room for a few buildings around there. We could almost... That's flat. I think we need to keep the flat area for building. Or path all the way up. Back down to there. That takes a lot of farmland away, but... you could possibly run a path I've had a bit of an idea. Maybe. Maybe. Let's clear all that down, see if I can get rid of that. What about chicken sheds? See, if I do a path all the way up, still going to need to leave some sort of track to have access to this little area. But there is that as well, isn't there? Which could be like a little entrance in. I like the idea of having something there to greet us on the way in. Something like an apple tree. Tricky to see because of the snow. Let me save, take these buildings down, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. Right, I'll put the apple tree in. I'm just going for it. Customise this. Too small. How big does that go? That's too big, isn't it? A bit bigger than that. Okay. Oh, it's going to be difficult. What texture? Let's do the entrance at least. Get the entrance done today. Oh, hallelujah, what timing. Should I do long grass? Or... could put some maybe gravel around, some pot plants, make a bit of a feature in there, possibly. Let's have a look while we've got right, that's flagstones, cobblestones are going to be so. Maybe I shouldn't have gone cobblestone up to the edge. We're going to need to be a bit wider coming in. Could put a fancy new gate on, couldn't we? If there is. So we could have a big entrance in there. You could almost yard that, I suppose, couldn't we? Should we go wider? Ooh, is that too wide? That's probably too wide. We don't need a huge wide path, do we? Oh, this has got me sweating. That's a little roundabout, and then I think potentially you're going to come out round there and follow this. Are we going up there or are we going there? Oh dear, I don't know what to do. Up. Up that way. Up to there. There. I've started it now. I think I'm already regretting it. I've started it. Should have saved that tree, shouldn't I, before I started doing this. We've got it's going to go like that because we've got pallets going to come out there, so potentially I guess we should go all the way up there, shouldn't we? If that's where the house is going to be at some point. That's not too bad. Those chickens I'm going to have to move, aren't they? So, sort of box in potentially this whole area. That could all end up being a yard. But then there's still all of this. Oh bugger, I don't want to do it that far out. I'm going to do a lot of neatening up. And that's possibly going to be an entrance into a yard area there. So that's not too bad. What sort of... We should really see if I can get water over to there, shouldn't I? Water's there. that'd be fine. That's a manage point, that's not a problem. That's fine. So load of bushes around there, or some plants. It's winter, so you're not really going to see much of the old plants. There's decorative bits, I suppose. There's a load of decorative plants and things. No, something like that's not too... Bit of fun. Where are we going to put chicken coop as well? You could put a load of planters in there, that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? We could just meadow grass it up and then put some bits and bobs in there, I suppose. I'll put some farming related bits in, like a old wooden wheelbarrow. That could be quite nice. Just to make a bit more of a feature of that island. Quite like the idea of doing them around it. I actually really like putting something like that in. Yeah, that's going in. You're coming in. And that's nice, I like that. Oh, hello. Hello. Now the trouble is, I don't think that quite looks in keeping, unfortunately. I'm all up for an old stone bath though as well. Got any water features? No. It's a shame, I would have liked a water feature. I thought I did bring in a water feature actually. Maybe I didn't. wheelbarrow with some plants would be nice. Got a feeling I brought one of them in as well, but it would appear I didn't. So we can build this up over time. We don't need to go too mob-handed on it. We can let it sort of organically build. We're not putting a dolphin statue in. We want it to still look like a fairly old, used farm. These are the in-game bits, they're not interactive, so there's just no flowers that appear. Okay, so I think we may need to do a bit of flattening, definitely, but that doesn't look too bad to me. I'm going to grass that. Yeah, that's better. Yes, that's better. Even I like it spilling out a bit as well, that's good. So we can put flowers in. If we had that field, we could probably put a track in. We could hedgerow. We've got to do something to make this more like an actual track, as opposed to ploughing up to the edge. So that's something we'll have to look into. In the meantime, I want as much money in as possible. I will reposition the chickens, and I think we'll get rid of these as well. Tree hopefully can stay. The bees can be in the back garden, but we'll need to move the chickens somewhere. We should have room for all of them as well. We'll have to put a new chicken coop in somewhere. Whereabouts, I'm not too sure. I'm really... Do we make this all part of a yard? Although potentially it is a small field. There is anyway. Or that is a field. And the rest of that is a field. I like the idea of sort of patterning it up. Partitioning it. But potentially that's not... I can't get rid of that. And I don't know why. So we might have to build around that. That might have to get wedged behind some farm buildings, which isn't a problem. Not a big problem. I'm quite happy with that. Let's oh, look at the time. Look at the time. Right, I do hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please drop us a like. If you're not subscribed yet, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you've got any comments or suggestions going forward, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. I'm all up for getting your input. I'm happy with the cobbled stone. It's wide enough for vehicles. Obviously we're only going to be small, but I do quite like the apple tree there as well. We're definitely going to have to, we can't have that as a field coming straight up to it. Meadow grass is probably alright though. But yeah, until the next time, thank you so much for watching, and bye bye for now.